what's up, my perky little plums? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're gonna have a chat about my most used Zaws and Kitguns. Now, this was highly requested over on Twitch as well as in the comment section, so I figured that I would go ahead and give you guys a rundown on what parts I use and what builds I have equipped on them. Now, I do want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't want this to feel militaristic whatsoever. Really, you should just use all of these setups as inspiration for what would fit best with you and your own specific playstyle, because listen, I can create something that works really well for me, but if it doesn't work well for you, then maybe don't use it. But I do have some tips and tricks that I've kind of like learned over time, because I've created a whole bunch of Zaws and I've made some mistakes. Now, this first one we're going to take a look at is kind of sort of a mistake, but not quite. The Nykeya is one of my older Zaws, and it definitely can pack a punch in certain situations. So as you can see right here, we have the Vidiq Gaze, the Plague Bokwin, as well as the Plague Kripath, and this creates a polearm with a lot of punch, specifically in the critical arena. As you can see right here, it's got 29% critical chance, a 2.2 times critical multiplier, but where it lacks is it's a little bit lower on the status totem, only sitting at 14%, and that is the issue that I have with this specific Zaw. While this is great at dealing lots of damage to anything in the star chart as well as unarmored targets, it does struggle when it comes to conquering enemy defenses, especially when they have a lot of armor. Because in my head, listen, I like crits as much as the next person, and seeing like, 50,000 points of damage is quite nice. But when you're only doing that to like level 15 corrupted butchers, it's really not that impressive. This is just kind of like one of those overkill weapons in standard gameplay. However, it definitely does have its uses. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it performs on its own. Please, Mr. Kitgun, it's not your time to shine yet. And then we'll go ahead and show how it plays in its most optimal level. So as you can see right here, we're getting crits pretty early on, right? In fact, we should be seeing some orange crits pretty soon as well. There they are. But when we look at the enemy's health bar, it's really not doing that much damage to him. So all of the yellow and orange crits in the world is not going to help you against a highly armored target. I mean, we're swinging away here, and those crits are popping up left, right, and center, but it's really not that impressive because we don't have any status to help us bypass the defenses. So let's go ahead and see how this performs optimally, because I do have a very specific use for it, and you'll note it when it comes to the actual build. So as you can see right here, I'm going to go ahead and start stripping off some of that armor. So now that the defenses are being lowered, we can go ahead and jump on in and really start creaming this enemy. You see how he just evaporated? The front loading of the critical damage is quite impressive, and like I said, great against targets that don't have very much in the ways of defense. So when you're able to strip that down using Saryn Spores, using Oberon's armor stripping on Smite, anything that can strip away an enemy's armor, this is where this particular Zaw really shines. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build real quick. Now, as you can see, we are using a combination of critical chance as well as status. Now, you're probably wondering, why do you have viral on this? Well, it's because I use this with armor stripping Warframes, so when you strip away the armor, what you're leaving left is usually something along the lines of cloned flesh. So we get this, and the occasional viral pop is very nice on targets that don't have defenses, and then you could just smack them around with that heavy crit. So as you can see, we do have some condition overload, drift in contact to really push that status, and then we've also got blood rush on there. So that's definitely the way that I prefer going. Exodia Force is just like a little bonus. I feel like all of the Exodias aren't necessarily deal breakers. They're just little extra fun bits that you can toss on. But that is my current setup for the Nykeya. Again, absolutely fantastic when you're dealing against targets that don't have heavy defenses. Now moving along to one that was actually perfectly made for my Saryn. This is what I envision when I talk about creating something for a specific use, your specific playstyle, and this is the Momus. You guys have probably seen this build a lot on my channel, but no matter how much I've kind of communicated it to people, everybody always asks about it, especially on stream. But as you can see, we are using the Jai 2, so it is balanced, but we have the Plague Bokwin and the Plague QR. The Plague QR actually pushes this into a little bit more of the status realm. So as you can see right here, we have 18% critical chance, which I think works really, really well with Blood Rush. It's not, of course, it's not like the top tier, but it works with it. And then we've got 22% status, which is basically 18 from the Jai 2, and then a little bonus from the Key Warhead. In addition to that, you'll note that while the IPS is fairly balanced, we do have it slightly leaning a little bit more towards Slash, which is very nice. It's even got its own built-in viral. So let's take a look at how this performs on a single target without any help from Saryn whatsoever. So as you can see right here, oh no, this is the forward one. Sorry, I always have to remember the combos to ensure that I'm not flinging myself around the map. But as you can see, this hits very, very fast. It hits incredibly fast, applies a lot of status, takes advantage of that condition overload that we have on it, and it's amazing when you are using it in conjunction with Saryn and, what is it called? With Saryn, her Toxic Lash, and her Spores. You'll see how fast this thing is. So as you can see, we are spreading all of that status. We are getting it all over and just kind of like wiping the floor with all of these enemies. They've basically evaporated, and we're already over here. These guys, I'm trying not to knock them into the air, but some of them did get knocked into the air. I'm very sorry, but as you can see, these guys have evaporated, and these ones over here should have a majority of their armor already stripped and just basically die. These are level 165 targets. No crazy gimmicks that we need to use, just straight up good building. So let's take a look at the actual build of this weapon. Now, this is actually a work in progress. This is what I'm currently using, but there are certain things that we will be adding to it. So as you can see, this is, again, basically the same build that we had last time. Condition Overload, Blood Rush, Drifting Contact, and we've got our status elementals in the ways of Viral. However, one of the things that I really like doing, and I'll probably have to add a little bit more forma in this to get it there, is to knock out Drifting Contact, because I do like using Naramon. I know everybody loves their Zenerik to get their energy. I don't usually need to use that at all, but I would probably knock out Drifting Contact and then toss in something like Healing Return. So as you can see, this restores 11 health per status type affecting the target. So basically, when you're using Saryn Spores, you're affecting them with what is it called? With Corrosive. And then when you're using this weapon, you've got the full range of IPS, including Viral. So you can get a lot of health back and keep yourself sustained. It is quite nice for keeping yourself alive with this specific setup. However, you do have to give up Drifting Contact to do it. In addition to that, maybe we'll see it in an upcoming video, but we do have a Plague Kiwar, what is this thing called? Riven. I haven't rolled it yet, so I don't know. Wish me luck when it comes to RNG. And for once, the Exodia... Oh, I just got rid of it. Exodia Force does work quite well with this. As you can see, you have a 50% chance to deal 200% weapon damage to enemies within 6 meters on status effect. And because this is status heavy, this works quite well with that. Is it a deal breaker? Is something that you absolutely need? No, not really, but it's a little bit of extra fun to kind of push this to the next level. So let's go ahead and take a look at my last Zaw, and this is kind of like what ended up replacing my Nykeya. And this is my Thrasos. Ugh, I love it, I love it, I love it because it looks like a scythe. I'm gonna change the colors real quick. And as you can see, this again uses the Jai 2. Now, the Stung is actually my favorite of the non-plague grips. I feel like this is the best of the bunch when it comes to there. There is another one that is even slower, but kind of like gives you a better damage spread. Personally, I think it's really, really ugly, and a part of having a Zaw is making sure that it looks pretty for you. And then, of course, we have the Docram, which turns this into a heavy blade. I really, really like it, and as you can see, this does lean heavily into Slash, and it's also got a good balance of the status and critical chance like we did before. So this is my balanced baby. The other two had a little bit of extra help. Let's just do a single Butcher or Bombard for now. And let's see how this operates on that. Then maybe we'll go ahead and put a little group together. But I just love this specifically because of the fact that it lets you use the heavy, stance on it to kind of like deal. See, you can see that slash proc going on over there. to kind of like whittle down groups of targets at once. So it's definitely one of those ones just that you use for the combo, and especially when you get your combo counter high on this. Let's go ahead and put together a little group of six to see how this kind of scales up, because it is going to be a lot of love from that slash proc. So as you can see right here, you're able to hit and spread a lot of status on enemies at once. And as you can see, that slash proc, once that slash proc goes off, that slash proc can really eat away at groups real quick, especially when you've got a good combo counter on them. So it's quite nice. Just make sure you don't hit that last little rung of your combo that makes you stagger around, because that can be a bit of a pain. So let's take a look at the build real quick. Unfortunately, do I have a ribbon for this? I think I have a ribbon for this. All right, so as you can see right here, it's basically the exact same build that we did earlier, because I'm predictable as fuck. But we do have a ribbon for it. So as you can see right here, this one I want to re-roll as well. This one's combo duration, toxin, and status chance. So it's basically like an amped up version of the Virulent Scourge. And what I would do is I would drop that, and I would go ahead and put on, where are you? You are the one that has the, you know what, let's go ahead and do Amalgam Organ Shatter on there, because I'm too lazy to go grab the standard Organ Shatter. So that's the variant that I would use with this specific ribbon. However, to be honest with you, I kind of want to re-roll this ribbon into something different. And as you can see, when you ribbon it up and you use some of that critical chance to use the slash procs on there, and that's why you have to have it balanced, by the way, because you want the slash procs, and then you want the critical chance, because you want critical slash procs to bypass the armor and just eat away at the enemies. This is why I love this baby. So let's go ahead and move into Kitguns, and this is actually asked of me by somebody in the previous comment section, so I want to point it out. Listen, you asked for it. It's here specifically for you. There were 2 of you. So now you guys know what it is, but if you're not watching this video, then it's your loss. So as you can see right here, this is the Vidiq Gaze, and this is actually my second gaze. The first gaze that I used, again, leaned heavily into critical chance, and I just did not enjoy it as much as this specific one. And as you can see right here, it's nice and balanced with 25 and 25 for your critical chance and status chance. I'm using the Gaze, the Deep Breath Loader, as well as the Love Tap. It gives it a decent reload speed to it, which I quite like. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, it's raring to go. The Gaze is just a wild one. It really wants the attention. Let's go ahead and start off with a single unit and then jump into maybe some group action in a second. But as you can see right here, the Gaze is quite nice. Oh, just look, it reminds me so much of the Gamma Core that it just puts a smile on my face. I'm just like, oh, this is basically like the Gamma Core, or the Cyanoid Gamma Core, but you can hit multiple targets with it, which makes me very, very happy, because, you know, the Gaze love a little group action, right? So let's go ahead and jump into this, and I'll show you exactly how this works. So you can see, okay, like, the only issue with this now is, because of the fact that it does have radiation on it, the headshots are a little bit harder to get, because everybody's turning to fight each other. But after you've done that, you usually kind of are able to wear away their armor a little bit, and every subsequent target that you hit with it becomes a lot easier to take down. So let's go ahead and take a look at this setup real quick. Now, I am using, surprise, surprise, a half critical chance, half status chance build. Prime Pistol Gambit as well as Prime Target Cracker for the upfront damage. And then we have some armor stripping from the Corrosive, because we are using Jolt and Pistol Pestilence. However, as you can see right here, oh, Pack Seeker, by the way, is the funnest of all of the Exodias there, because you get some nice headshot-seeking projectiles whenever you do a headshot kill, I believe. Am I right? Headshot kill? Headshot kill, yes. Projectiles that go and find other enemies. But I also have this great ribbon, and that's one of the things that I don't want you guys to forget about, is that these things do tend to have a decent, what do you call this? A decent ribbon disposition. Unless you're using Catch Moon. FYI, you will not be seeing Catch Moon in this setup. I like Gaze and Rattle Guts are my two favorites. Catch Moon, it's just not good at higher level targets. Again, it's kind of got that feeling of like, oh, it's good for like low level bullshit, but when you get into challenging content, it's just not as great. So, oh, I didn't even show you what was on this ribbon, but you know what? Let's take a look at how it operates. As you can see, it's already doing its magic, and as you can see, we've got some orange crits on this. Ooh, it's just so sexy. It's just so sexy. Let's take a look at that ribbon real quick so that you guys can see what I ended up grabbing. And this one is status chance, critical chance, so it really just boosts up all of the supplemental stats on this. Now, moving along to my other favorite, it's my Rattle Guts. Can I look it up? Yeah. So this is my Lavaratus. And as you can see, we are using Rattle Guts, Swift Fire, and Love Tap on this baby. So let me go ahead and show you guys how this one works. Now, I did really love the crap out of Tomb Finger when it first came out. And the big reason why I don't use Tomb Finger anymore is mainly because of the fact that, I don't know, secondaries I really usually reach for when it comes to like taking down nullifier bubbles and all of that. And do I want a semi-auto projectile, or would I prefer like a full auto hit scan when it comes to kind of taking those things down? I think I will take the full auto hit scan. So as you can see right here, it is full auto. It's got good sound to it too. The only complaint that I have is sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get headshots on it. Mainly because of the fact that I do feel like this has a whole load of impact on it, and it kind of staggers around your target a little bit, so it is a bit of a pain to kind of get what you need to get going. But I just feel like this is a nice standard like full auto weapon, and even when I'm not getting headshots, you can still see you are like ripping through enemies with chunks of damage. So I really do like this one a lot, and when you get seeking head projectiles, it's always really good too. So that is my current setup for this. Let's take a look at the build. As you can see, we do, it's the same build. Y'all, it's the same goddamn build. There's nothing crazy about it, except for the fact that, surprise, surprise, Rob has a ribbon for it too. And it's status chance, damage, and critical chance. So it's like the last one, but this one also has damage, base damage attached to it too. So as you can see right here, this is where it gets kind of sort of nasty, and this is why like I encourage you guys to use Zaws and use ribbons that kind of like work well with them. Even you might even have a ribbon that you already like for it, and then just build a Zaw around that, which I think is really fun. So again, take everything that I said here with a grain of salt. Build something that you enjoy, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, right? It's creating something that works well with you, with your type of gameplay. I know that a lot of people like some of the other, what is it called? Like some of the other Paxes for this. I believe there's also Pax Charge. No, not Pax Charge. Actually, some people really like Pax Charge for things like these, so that you're not worried about trying to refill your ammo capacity. But there's also Pax Bolt, which gives you ability efficiency and ability strength for the next 4 seconds. So that's definitely something that you can look at as well. This is just what I like. So tailor your Zaws and your kit guns to what you like and appreciate. But for those of you guys who are curious as to how I run mine, this is it. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to let you guys move along with your day. Let me know what you guys think about your favorite Zaws. Do you disagree? Do you love your Catch Moon? And do you hate me forever for it? But toss that down all in the comments section below, and wish me good luck to get good rolls on my Momus ribbon. So that about does it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. And if anybody asks about Zaw and like kit gun setups, send them this video, because I don't want to have to repeat myself a million times over. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.